Our in-studio guest tonight is regarded still as one of the best defenders in NCAA basketball history. While a player at Providence, he was a two-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year and led that league in steals 3 times in 4 years. After playing pro, stateside and overseas for more than a decade, he spent the last 10-plus years now as a college coach, eventually coming west to BYU. And tonight, into Studio C. Please welcome to the show, BYU assistant coach, John Linehan.
Yep, your hot seat.
Oh boy.
Great to have you, Coach.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited. This is big time, man.
We think it is. Did you happen to see the feature that we did on you a few weeks ago, the Deep Blue?
I did. What
did you think of that?
I loved it. It was a great job. It's fun. They got a chance to go back to my city and kind of explore Chester with me. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, your words again of growing up in Chester, Pennsylvania.
Yep. I mean, Chester is a special place, right? I mean, it's a lot of great people there, a lot of strong-minded people there, right? A lot of good things and a lot of not so good things, right? But together they kind of shaped who I've become.
Suburban Philadelphia, right?
Yes. Well, it's a city.
But it's just to the south of Philly, right? Like its own little area. I mentioned your basketball journey, all the places you've been generally, but you play basketball, you see the world, right? Like you've done it all. Yeah,
I mean, I've been fortunate, I've been blessed. You know, a guy, I think I'm 6 foot, but more like 5'8", 5'9". To have the type of career that I've had, and basketball has taken me all over the world. So I'm very blessed, I'm very thankful for the journey that I've had. And I've seen quite a bit of places, man, so I'm fortunate. Can you geographically, chronologically tick them off real quick or not? It'd take a while. But I mean, I've been all through Europe. Got a chance to go to Israel. But played most of my career in France, Estonia, and then all throughout the United States.
Yeah. Do you speak any foreign languages to this point?
I speak a little French. My son is French. So I have to kind of keep up with him a little bit. So.
You have someone on your staff, Coach Young, that is from France, Clement. Yep. Did you ever hear them chopping up in French at all?
Yeah, I mean, we actually have quite a few French speakers, both staff and players. I always joke that I can barely speak English, and most everyone else knows like 3 or 4 languages, so I just stay out of the way.
High school hoops for you, what was that like?
High school hoops was everything. In my city of Chester, making a high school varsity team is like old school Hoosiers, if you remember that movie. Mm-hmm. But we have a lot of, we have a rich basketball tradition in Chester. So being able to grow up and play on a team and make the varsity team, you play against. I've played against so many great players in our league. I mean, as well as Kobe, as you know, but Rip Hamilton, who played for some years, Tim Thomas. But just, the list goes on of the great basketball players that are, in our area.
There's a picture we see of you and Kobe sharing the floor, and it's like if you talk to Paul McCartney, you have to ask about him playing with the Beatles. We have to ask you about what Kobe said about you as the toughest defender he ever faced.
Yeah, I mean, I still can't believe he said it, because as good of a player as he was, I just wanted to get under his skin, make it hard for him. But it was a great honor for him to say that about me. I mean, he was an unbelievable player, someone that really took the game to another level in terms of his focus, his work ethic, just the way he saw the game was different, So for him to say that about me is an unbelievable honor.
All right, playing for Providence and taking us into those Big East battles from back in the day. Why did you choose Providence, first of all, and Big East basketball? How would you describe it?
Well, Big East, I mean, growing up during the time that I grew up, I mean, Big East basketball was everything. Georgetown, Syracuse, Villanova, just to name a few. I mean, that's what we grew up on, and, growing up, I always said, man, I want to play in the big lights in the Big East, so that wasn't my first choice. I probably chose a couple other schools. I mean, obviously you guys know my journey, but, just being able to get a scholarship to Providence was a dream come true for me.
Coach Young, I was in the NCAA record book yesterday, and this man, he's still 5th all-time in single-season steals in the NCAA, 4th in single-season steals average, 7th in career steals average. And your overall steals record, it stood for 20. It was just recently broken a couple of years. It stood for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's I still can't believe it. You know, it should still be the record though because of COVID. I'm just
And if I wish we could keep track of like what he does to our players in practice, and he for sure would still be the top steal record book. So.
Wait, what did you want to have Coach Linehan do or specialize in when you brought him into your staff?
You know, obviously the defensive end of the floor is somewhere where he excels, but you know, he brings a level of intensity that's required. You know, you need somebody every day that wakes up just kind of ready to eat rocks, as I say. And so, you know, he brings that level of intensity, you know, to our group every day. That was probably the number one thing. I mean, we go back to when I was back east in Philly. That's where we first met. And so just the type of guy he was, you know, combined with, you know, his defensive, like, intuition and just that level of intensity. And then, you know, the relationship piece, you know, that we built up a natural relationship, him and I, so I know he would be good. Look at the old school videos. You know. I knew he'd be great with our players out here. And, you know, I don't think BYU on a coaching staff side has had, you know, somebody with JL's background, both as a player and, like you said, growing up in Chester. And I thought it was just, you know, something that I want to add to our group.
You know, we went to Providence this year to play, so you were back in your old building, and, you know, they talk about the 6 degrees of separation. He doesn't need 6 degrees. Whether it's Providence or any other building everywhere we go, it seems like he knows somebody. Somebody knows John.
Yeah, you know, you do it long enough, right. and like you said, I mean, you know, people know who he is. You know, he put a stamp on his game, you know, collegially. Then his you know, his pro career was great as well. But anytime you get one of the greatest players of all time throwing the compliment that Kobe did, I mean, you're pretty much stamped off on at that point. So it's hard to knock that.
Coach, now that we're going to take a break here in a second, but you've had almost 2/3 of a season of BYU basketball under your belt. You've been in the East for such a long time and around the world that we talked about. Do you feel like you're a Cougar now?
I'm definitely a Cougar. You know, like. But I mean, it's hard not to, you know, feel it in your bones and your blood. I mean, the fans are great here. You know, they're very passionate. This is one of the best fan bases I've ever been a part of and ever witnessed. I mean, every game. I mean, I still get the goosebumps, you know, when you know they come out and do the drum and you know. So I'm really enjoying myself. I mean, the fans and everyone welcomed me in, me and my son, and yeah, I'm definitely a part of Cougar Nation.
Well, we are so glad you're a BYU guy now, and we're glad you're with us here tonight. We've got more with Coach John Linehan as BYU basketball with Kevin Young continues. Stick around with us. We're back after this.